Station 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Well, we said we would have more of your holiday favorites coming up. He is one of my favorite guests. He is in studio. He's a regular here on the Afternoon Drive, always stirring the pot, calling out corporate greed. He's a little bit Robin Hood, a little bit public defender. He's Richard Szerman, Realtor at Alta Realty. What's happening, Rich?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm a lot of things, so I'll take that. Sure. Good to see you. I don't know that I'm a regular, but I'm happy to come by.
How are the holiday seasons treating you? Because I know you work like 70 hours a week.
I do. Well, I work sort of constantly. I like what I do a lot, and there's no shortage of people in trouble. So that's why we give out my personal cell phone on the air, which is still, I'm not rethinking that. We're still doing that. It's fine. I love it when people call. But no, I'm doing great. The holidays are good. How are your holidays going?
They're okay. A lot of driving, a lot of traffic, a lot of sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
Have you done all your shopping? Do you usually wait to?
Well, no, I try to get stuff done kind of early. I try to get up there, but I always feel like, oh yeah, I've done it all now. And then I realize, I haven't done anything yet.
Nothing.
I gotta get going. Yeah. So
I'm a fan of gift cards, though. Gift cards and just straight cash.
Yeah. See, in my family, we have a whole thing about that. I mean, if you give somebody a gift card, oh, how nice for the gift card. So you gave no thought to this at all and didn't do anything. Well, very nice.
I think sentimentality is overrated, Rich.
For somebody who gets gift cards, it is. But yeah, getting wrath from my mother, from my wife about that is just, oh, I see we didn't have time to actually think through a present, did we?
See, yeah, I think, if you have a significant other, then you can't just give cash.
Yeah,
like I can't give my grandma cash.
My wife's family does that. They literally just exchange checks.
Really?
And that's kind of
nice.
takes all the fun out of it for me. I don't no. It's that having to kind of go through it and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. What would they really like, but they wouldn't get for themselves. I enjoy that. I know it's kind of corny, kind of hokey, but I like that sort of stuff. It's how I like to spend my time when I have free time. That is. But
exactly.
I'm also really just truly blessed in that. I've got a lot of people on my Christmas list. It's a very large list, so I'm very, very blessed to be in that position. And I'm also very, very, very lucky in that a lot of local shop owners and store owners, people like that in Santa Clarita, are either clients or friends or people I've met over the years, being out here for roughly 30 some odd years now professionally, and I grew up out here before that. So I'm very lucky to know enough people that I can walk into their store and go, okay, I need something for my wife, please help me.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, okay, yeah, here.
Oh, we saw her the other week. Here's what she was looking at.
Or worse yet, we knew you'd be coming by, so we have this set aside for you because we do this every year, and you're just all thumbs with this. So, but on the other hand, my wife and my mom and my daughter, people close to me, think I'm really good at this. I just have really good people who help is really what it comes down to for me. So for me, it's fun.
Yeah.
The stress of it is the stress of it, but I sort of enjoy it. I get used to it after a while. So
everyone has the stress,
Yeah, and compared to what I do for a living, the stress of buying presents is pretty easy. So.
How is it? How is it at work these days? Is the holiday season a little more stressful?
Yeah, it's busy. There's something, I know I've been saying this for a while, but you can almost feel the economy starting to give a little bit. I mean, we'll see what the numbers look like for consumer confidence at the end of the holiday season, and I hope they're going to be up, but I suspect they're going to be down. I mean, it's whenever we have the situation where the stock market is continuing to go up, but yet people's paychecks really aren't, and they're still feeling that kind of pinch, even though everyone's telling you, look how great the economy is, and you're going, yeah, but I can't make my bills.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at with a lot. And I can always, in my office, I can kind of tell which way the economy is going just by how many files I have. And we've seen over the last year, especially, the number of foreclosure defense files that we have, which we, of course, do for free, point out to your listeners, has skyrocketed. I mean, it really has just spiked. We have got a lot of files in the office now. This is almost about 2007, 2006 levels.
Scary.
Very.
Wow.
Very, very. And we have the new added benefit of these zombie seconds, which are just a complete and utter scourge, and I've been screaming about them for a while. I've been trying to get some legislation moved in Sacramento, which has not met with a whole lot of support. But what is it?
You're saying things move slowly in government.
I'm saying they move almost not at all.
Wow.
And every time you feel like you're getting something to move, then there's a changing of the guard, which is, I think, healthy for the system. But the new people come in and go, I'm sorry, you were what now? With who? With what? What were we doing?
Now, did you see the same signs in about 2005, 2006? You saw it forming as well?
Very much. Same thing. I was looking around going, I don't know about this. This feels really shaky. I got a lot of files. I got a lot of people telling me they can't make their bills, more than told me that last year. And everybody else is telling me how great the economy is. And it's just not. There have been too many indicators. I know I've prattled on about interest rate inversion, so I won't do that again. Once is probably more than enough for anybody who's listening who's not an economist.
And it's common knowledge.
Interest rate
inversion.
I'm kidding. I don't know how common it is, but it's common around my office.
Yeah,
sure. And for those of your listeners who don't know, it's a sign of the economy. Bad things to come, and you can look it up on your own. Interest rate inversion. Google it. You'll see what it is. And there are a lot of other signs that tell me that I'm very worried about where the real estate market is going. But chief among them at the moment is what we've started to see. is about 4 years ago, I started talking about these things we now call zombie seconds, or some people call them ghost seconds, where you think you've paid it off, you think it's been discharged in a bankruptcy or a loan modification or otherwise dealt with 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 years ago, and then you get a letter in the mail that says, hi, we're the bank who now owns this debt, and not only do you owe us the $120,000 you owed us 12 years ago, but now you owe us an additional $175,000. Those are true numbers from an actual case I was on just on my way in this morning, or this afternoon. And so please give us the $300,000 you owe us right now, or we're taking your house that happens to have equity in it, which it didn't 2 year, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, but it does now.
Wow.
And that particular case, and we see these a lot, is particularly alarming. As I said, I saw the first one 4 years ago. Then it sort of has been doubling up. Now we've got about 30 or 40 of them in the office. Every month we seem to take in more of these. And that particular case is with a bank called SLS. And what is particularly concerning about that is up until fairly recently, the only people playing in this market were very down market companies, bottom feeders, if you will. I'm probably not supposed to say that's not very complimentary, but they're not very nice guys.
It is what it is.
Companies like Trojan, who I've talked about on the air before, and Trinity, who's very similar, same company in a lot of respects. And some of the others, West Coast Collections, which we had a little to do with on the air with, if you remember, earlier this year. They're usually these bottom feeder types. They're curiously well funded. They're usually foreign corporations that incorporate in states that can't tell you it's a foreign corporation, so not California corporations. We're used to those shenanigans. And well, that's dating shenanigans. That makes me sound old. But anyway,
I use shenanigans.
We'll go malfeasance. Anyway, but now we're starting to see that same larger banks like SLS have started to see these things and go, hey, it's a pretty good business model. There's a lot of money to be made here. And now they're getting into that same market. So now we're not just dealing with the bottom feeders. We're dealing now with larger, more institutional banks who have more of a public face. Not much, but more of a public face. I'm sure most of your listeners have not heard of banks like Trojan or West Coast Capital, but I'm sure a lot of your listeners have heard of SLS or SPS. Or no, those are basically, they're not entirely offshoots of B of A, but they got a lot of B of A files. And they're a problem because now that we're seeing bigger fish starting to play in this market, what that tells us is this is becoming more the reality. It's not just something nibbled at the edges that affects maybe 1 out of 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 homeowners. Now we're starting to see more and more of this. And the numbers I just gave you, the 120,000 that they owed, that is now, 179,000, I said 170, 179, 180,000 for a grand total of 300, is all on a second. These people only owe 170 on their first. House is only worth about 350. And now this bank has come in, SLS, and said, give us the money or else. And they've said, basically, we want a check for $178,000 in the next week and a half, or we're foreclosing on the house. So Merry Christmas.
Yeah, right. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Does the bank, like a sniper, wait till there's matching equity in the house that
Not
matches?
matching.
Or just about?
It's just, as long as there's equity in the house that they can get their hands on. Because remember, whoever bought this debt, when SLS bought this debt, they didn't pay $120,000. They didn't pay $300,000 for this debt. They probably paid somewhere around $30,000 or $40,000 on this debt, if that. So they're looking at this and going, well, gee, we're $30,000, $40,000 into a file that's worth about $300,000, and they've got about $200,000 in equity. Go get the house. Now, in this particular case, it's infuriating because this is a very lovely family. They have 2 grown sons that are both special needs. They were twins. They were born premature. One has cerebral palsy, and the other has some liver and kidney issues. They're both disabled. They're both wheelchair bound. And the house has been set up for their use. The family's been in this house for about 12, 15 years, and they've set up the house for the kids' use. And they can't just go rent a house down the street. No landlord, rather, is going to allow them to get into remodeling a house, nor can they come up with the expense for their kids. And yet SLS's attitude about this is, I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Pass.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I keep coming back to this when I explain it to clients. Everybody's seen the movie Goodfellas, and when they take the restaurant over and how the mob works. Oh, I'm terribly sorry you had a bad week. Pass. There's more to that. You can look up yourself. I don't want to curse on here. There's, had a bad week. Pass. Somebody quit. Pass. Bills can't get paid. Sorry to hear that. Pass. That's the way these banks behave. They behave like mafioso. That's what they do. And the attitude that all they see is, we are owed X, your house is worth Y, so give us Y, is just ridiculous. It's not fair. These guys filed a bankruptcy. They were told by their bankruptcy attorney 9 years ago that they didn't have to worry about the second, which is horrendously bad advice, unfortunately commonplace in not wonderful bankruptcy attorneys. So they got some bad advice. But now, because they got some bad advice, 8, 9 years ago, now that's translating into is them likely losing their home over the holidays with 2 disabled kids because SLS are not very nice people. I know I'm not supposed to say bad things about them. I get chided whenever I do. But I don't know how you say nice things about a bank
Right.
that is foreclosing on a family with 2 disabled kids over the holidays because they discovered they can.
How long does the bank give them to get out of the house?
90 days.
Wow.
90 days. 90 days from when they say, oh, by the way, we have this loan, pay us or else.
Oh, man.
So that's it. So they about 60 days ago got a letter, and a little more than that, got a letter in the mail, freaked out, called a few people. They eventually made their way to my doorstep about a week ago. And we've been trying to wrestle with SLS ever since. Their behavior is reprehensible. It just is. Because their attitude is, I've given this analogy many times before, they act as if they're sharks. When a shark is swimming and it eats a surfer, it doesn't look up at the guy and go, oh, I probably shouldn't eat that guy, single father of 5, I'll wait for the next one. Sharks don't think like that. Sharks think food looks like a seal, I'll eat it. That's it. And unfortunately, these banks have been allowed to behave the same way. Well, we're terribly sorry that you have 2 disabled children, and we're terribly sorry that it's the holidays, but pay us. Because you owe us, even though that's not the bank they took the loan out with, even though this loan goes back almost 20 years, that these guys just got the loan fairly recently. No, we will not allow a loan modification. No, we will not allow a payment plan. No, we will not allow anything else. Either pay us everything you owe us, or we're taking your house. And unfortunately, that's legal. It's unethical. It's immoral. And again, I say bad things about them because they're a bad group of people. But SLS, that is. But it is not illegal. It should be, and that's what we seek to change. But so far, there is just absolutely no legislative appetite for doing this. Our local politicians all have other things to deal with, and I understand that. But you have to explain that to this family, because this family is about to lose their house, and they're going to have no place to live with 2 large kids. They're good-sized boys. And they can't just move into a rental or move into it. They're probably going to wind up in some sort of shelter someplace, which is going to be very, very detrimental to their health if I can't find a way to fix this. So we're working like heck to try and fix it.
Are your offices swamped with stories like these? I imagine.
This one's yes is the short answer. This one is particularly acute because it's just so blatant.
Yeah.
The smart move here by the bank is to go, okay, your house is not worth what you owe on your house. We understand that. We understand that you're in a particular situation. It's not just dollars and cents. There are lives at stake here, and I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that. There are lives at stake here. Let's find a way to work this out, because it's still better for us here at the bank to get a payment every month than it is to just flush this thing down the drain, take over the house, have to pay off the first, all these other things that they're going to have to do, which cost them money. But they don't think that far. They just think, we are owed money. You have equity in your house. We are going to take it.
Right.
And that's ridiculous. To not allow any humanity into that process is horrendous. And that's why these things happen, and why I do this for free, and why we stand at the abyss to try to prevent it.
He's Richard Szerman of Alta Realty. How many people are on your team? It's you at the head.
There's me. I have 4 full-time staff, another couple of part-time, some volunteers who come by to help out, which is nice. I'm also, again, I say this a lot, I am very blessed, and I have other people in other parts of the real estate industry who volunteered their time to help. Some people at title companies and escrow companies. There are a couple of local escrow companies we do a lot of business with who are very nice to me, because in a lot of this stuff, they're doing a ton of work to help support these, and they know there's no money to be made, so they're doing net sheet stuff for us. Glen Oaks Escrow in particular, say nice things about them. They're very helpful over there. Cynthia over there.
See, he has nice things to say about some people.
About a lot of people. They're wonderful. It's this particular story is particularly grating, because I know if this family loses this house, they're in serious trouble. I mean, anybody would be in trouble if they lose a house. Now, try imagine this. You're in your 40s, you're in your early 50s. You have 2 kids that are special needs. You have another daughter as well who's younger. And on top of everything else, they're also caring for her 82-year-old mother who's got dementia.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's their life already. Now you enter into that.
It's crippling.
Now you enter into that, this bank who has decided, hey, you guys have some equity. And unfortunately, if they had no equity, if the first over-encumbered the property, the bank wouldn't touch them. Not only that, a bankruptcy could wipe it out. But because of the way the bankruptcy laws work, which are just this Byzantine maze to have to go through, and the way the laws work, and what the banks, their rights are. And for those of your listeners who can't see me, I was making air quotes when I said their rights, because I find it offensive.
We heard the inflection.
Yeah, their rights. Anyway, it puts these people in a really, really bad situation. They have no place else to go. You know, it's all well and good that these politicians stand up and talk about the homelessness problem. We're going to conquer the homelessness problem. How about you get to some of these before they become homeless? Maybe that would be a thought. Because I'm telling you, if these 6 people, 2 adults, younger daughter, 2 disabled kids, and their mother go out into the street, 3 of them are going to die. I mean, I hate to put it in those terms and be that stark about it, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're going to die. And SLS will be the cause of that. And when you talk to SLS about that, hey, it's not our problem. It's not our problem. And my favorite excuse of all You know, I realize I'm a horrible person working here at SLS, and I realize I'm taking this family's house because it's just money, you see. But if I didn't do it, someone else would. And I'm very sure the I was just following orders as a defense for immoral behavior has been absolutely sorted. We worked that problem out as a species. We've decided that is no longer acceptable. But yet you hear that from SLS. And for those of your listeners who aren't following, yes, I'm calling them Nazis because that's how they operate. And it's just ridiculous. This authoritarian, we can do whatever we want because no one is here to stop us. And as long as we don't directly break the laws, and there are plenty of little laws they do break, but as long as we don't do anything super obvious, we can do whatever we want. There is no attitude as well, I suppose, for enforcement. And there is no criminal statutes that protect them. So what happens is the banks do these rotten things. They sometimes, often, in fact, break the laws, the RESPA guidelines and the homeowner bailout, homeowner HBOR in particular. They break these laws, and because there is no enforcement, they can do whatever they want.
Lawlessness.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
He's Rich Szerman.
We got to stop that.
Free foreclosure defense. Yeah, but he's got a couple other programs that are free home loan modification, rental rebate, and resale renovation. You can go to you can go to richszerman.com. That is Szerman, SZERMAN.com. Yep, richszerman.com. You can also reach out to them over the phone, 661-253-3000. Rich also gives out his personal phone number. I give out my personal phone number
like
a madman.
Yeah, I've been warned about this, but I keep doing it, and it's fun. I like
That's
to call.
fun.
I get some strange calls sometimes, but I like it. I'm a pretty strange guy, so I like strange calls. My personal cell phone number, and yes, this really is my personal cell phone number, is 661-714-1400. That number again is 661-714-1400. You can call or text me at that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if I don't answer because I'm asleep, I need to do that rarely, but on occasion, a couple hours a night at least, just text. It's fun. I don't mind. I'll text you back as soon as I'm able to.
Rich Szerman, richszerman.com. And if you are a documentary filmmaker, I feel like there's more content to
there's a lot.
Satisfy an hour and a half documentary. Reach out to Rich, richszerman.com. Again, you can also go to his office on Turney Road in Valencia. Just go to richszerman.com for all the info.
Please.
Rich, always good seeing you, man.
Always a pleasure, man. Thanks.